So today our topic will be entity relationship model. Am I audible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today we will study entity.
Sir, you're not sharing your screen, sir.
No, pardon?
You're not sharing your screen.
What? I didn't understand.
So
You
the
have not
screen is
shared
not
your.
visible.
You have done?
Sir, the screen is not visible.
Oh, screen is not visible. Okay, okay. Is it visible now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Let us start. So, entity relationship model or entity relationship diagram. Okay. So in ER model, we have to first know about entity. Okay. So entity may be a noun. Okay. Any noun to a uh, describe a scenario. Suppose student. Student can be entity. Teachers can be entity. Okay. Anything like HR. Okay, HR can be entity. Like car can be entity. Okay, like any other thing like course can be entity. Okay, customer can be entity. So this list goes on. But in ER model, we have to we have to learn that how it is represented in ER diagram. So entity is represented by using a rectangle. Okay, in the rectangle, entity is represented, and entity has some attributes. Okay, attributes are represented by using this oval symbol. Okay, and if the attribute is key or primary key, then it is represented by the name of the attribute and an underline that name. So for an example, let us take an example. Suppose that student. Okay. So if student is an entity, then it will be in the diagram. It will be represented in a rectangle. Okay, its attributes will be like name, its registration number, father's name, okay, or father's name, his address, his mobile number. What else can be attribute of a student?
Gender.
Age, sir, age.
Yes, gender, very good. Age. अदर क्या हो सकते हैं?
Sir, date of birth.
सपोज करो डेट ऑफ बर्थ. सो जितना भी होना चाहिए वो आप यहाँ पे लिख सकते हो. ओके. हाँ, बट यू हैव टू सी that if you want to represent a student in a table in the form of a relation, then what will be the primary key? That means what will be the attribute that will uniquely identify each student in the table. What can be that?
So registration number, name.
Registration number.
Only registration number or name
Yes.
registration number together?
Names can
Sir,
be duplicates,
registration
so
number
registration
and
number is
mobile
unique
number.
always.
I think registration number.
Registration
Okay.
number is unique.
Yes, registration number is unique. Okay. Yeah, if means mobile number can also be there, because I don't think that two persons will have same mobile number.
Siblings.
Is it possible?
So
Siblings.
mobile होना ना होना is also
Yes, yes, मोबाइल होना और ना होना वो भी एक फैक्टर है. एंड हाँ, अभी जिसने बताया कि यस, अगर सिबलिंग्स हो तो उस केस में दोनों एक ही मोबाइल नंबर यूज कर सकते हैं, या दोनों पेरेंट्स मोबाइल नंबर दे सकते हैं, या कुछ हो सकता है सेम. तो मोबाइल नंबर को हम नहीं लेते हैं क्योंकि सबके पास मोबाइल नंबर नहीं भी हो सकता है, एक मतलब एक वर्स्ट केस सिनेरियो में. बट रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर मस्ट बी देयर for a student. If there is a student, then there will be a registration number, and those registration number will be unique. Okay, so registration number will be key. Okay, I am not just now mentioning whether this is a primary key or a super key or a candidate key or anything. I am not mentioning. Okay, I'll just describe this afterwards. Now I'll show you some other characteristics of attributes. Okay, you see, attributes can be of many types. Okay, simple attributes, composite attributes, complex attribute. Okay, and another thing is there, like this. Another is there, this is called derived attribute. Okay, another is there, that is called multi-valued attribute. Okay, multi-valued attribute. Now let us just see one by one. Okay, so yeah, let us. Okay, now what is simple attribute? What is that? Simple attribute is an attribute that cannot be further divided. Okay, that cannot be further divided. Like registration number is a simple attribute. Okay, like gender. Gender is a simple attribute. Okay, multi-valued attribute. What is multi-valued attribute? Multi-valued attributes are those attributes that can have more than one values. Okay, like among all these attributes, which one can be, or which of these can be multi-valued attributes?
Some
Mobile.
mobile number.
Mobile number.
Yeah, mobile number can be a multi-valued attribute, rightly said. Apart from that,
so maybe address depending on permanent or current address.
yeah, correct. Address can be multi-valued attribute. Yes. So in case of car, you can have color, like a car, a particular model can have various colors. So those type of attributes are called multi-valued attributes. Okay, are called multi-valued attributes. And multi-valued attributes are represented by using a double oval. Okay, so we will just represent those by using double ovals. Okay, just keep in mind these things. These are very, very important. Okay. Okay, good. Now there comes composite attribute. What is composite attribute? As the name suggests, that if an attribute can be divided into many parts or many other components, then that becomes a composite attribute. Suppose in case of name can be further divided into what?
First and last name.
First name, middle initial or middle name and last name. So in ER diagram, composite attributes are denoted by these type of structures. Okay. An attribute and उससे कुछ branch निकलता है further attributes. So obviously if you can find this type of structure, means oval से फिर से oval निकल रहा है, then these type of attributes will be termed as composite attributes. Okay. Now there comes derived attributes. So as the name suggests, what is derived attribute? Derived attributes can be calculated or can be computed from any other attribute. Okay, that means derived attributes are certain attributes that can be computed or calculated based on other attributes. Now, which attribute among these can be a derived attribute?
Age from date of birth.
Exactly. Very good. So, age. So, derived attributes are those attributes that can be computed by other attributes. Okay, like age. So, derived attributes are denoted in a dotted oval. Okay, this is called derived attributes. Like if you have DOB, means date of birth, and if you have system date, then you can calculate the age. So age will be a derived attribute. Okay, good. Next comes complex attribute. Okay, complex attributes are those attributes which can be a combination of any other types, like composite and multivalued. Okay, composite and multivalued. कौन सा हो सकता है composite and multivalued? Okay, if in case of mobile number, if you can further divide it as country code and the number, then it becomes complex. In case of address, if you can just write the first line, then region, then pin code, okay, then like anything, state, like district, so then it becomes complex. Okay, that means it is actually an attribute which is multivalued, and again it is which type of structure it is? It is composite. Okay, are you getting it?
So complex or composite?
Complex may be, means complex is combination of composite and multivalued. Okay. And composite can be further divided into two components. Okay, means more than one components. Okay, so this is how entity is represented. Okay, now again in case of entity, there is something more to describe. Entity can be of two types. Okay, or you can say entity set. Entity set is like a set of entities, okay, set of many entities. Okay, means in further communications or in further correspondence, we will just simply tell entity in place of entity set, and entity type is the prototype of that entity. Okay, like student having registration number, mobile number, father's name, gender, CGP, all these things will be termed as entity type. And if you are saying that yes, like Aditya, okay, then Aditya will be a particular entity which is an instance of that entity type. Okay, like this. Now coming to this division categories of entity set, there are two types of entity sets. One is called strong entity set and another is called weak entity set. Okay, so strong entity set will be those entity that has some attributes that can uniquely identify each row of that entity. Okay, each entity, like student. That means, in short, strong entity set are those entity sets that can have some key attributes. Okay, like student, like car, like teachers. All these are strong entity sets. Weak entity sets. So here you can find primary key. Okay, here you can find primary key or simply key. Okay, and weak entity set doesn't have doesn't have primary key. Okay, so in place of primary key, it has surrogate key. Okay, it has surrogate key. What is surrogate key? That also will be explained to you later. Okay,
सर एंटिटी सेट का एग्जैक्टली क्या मतलब होता है?
like student itself is an entity set, because student is a set consisting of more than one elements. Okay, so more precisely or more correctly, we will term this as entity set. But while teaching or while learning, we will just means we will make it short as entity. Okay, so entity means entity set. Commonly, we will refer to this, but actual name is entity set. More formally, it is termed as entity set. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in ear diagram, strong entity is represented in this rectangle. Okay, so strong entity is represented as rectangle, but weak entities that are represented in double rectangle. Okay, double rectangle. Okay, and if an attribute is a key, then that will have an underline. Okay, continuous underline. In case of weak entity set, it will have some attributes which a surrogate key will be marked as dotted underline or dashed line. It is said dashed line or dotted underline. Okay, or dashed line, you can say.
Sir, could you go up, sir?
Yes.
So could you again explain the towels one?
This thing.
Yes, sir. What is that exactly?
Suppose that you are having a particular entity xyz, like xyz, okay, which is a weak entity set. So if it is weak entity set, then it will have certain attributes like a, b, c, but it will not have any primary key. But a is termed as surrogate key, but you don't know the concept of surrogate key right now, so let us skip that. But for now, you just think that a is a surrogate key. So how to represent that thing? If a were a primary key, then you can use this continuous underline. Okay, but since this is a surrogate key, then you have to mark it as this dotted line. Okay,
Got it, sir.
so this is the difference between primary key representation and surrogate key representation. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next comes relationship. Okay, relationship is a mapping between two entities. Okay, so relationship is the name of association between two entities. Generally, this is represented by using the verbs. Okay, like here is an entity, student. Here is an entity, course. Okay, course. So what is the association or what is the relationship between student and course? Hmm?
So students participates in courses.
Participates in courses, but you can see that registers in course or simply reads. Okay, reads course or studies in course, anything can be written which will be a noun. Okay, the student registers in courses. Okay, now now this is called relationship. Now this relationship can have attribute also. Okay, sometimes. So here you can see that registration date. Okay, that means the particular date from when the student is studying this course can be one attribute. Okay, you can just also have an attribute like type. Okay, type. Type means type of registration, whether he is in a full-time registered in that course or a part-time registered in this course or re-registered in this course, or he is just choosing the makeup exam for this course like this. Okay, yes. This will totally depend on the designer of this ER model. Okay, you are getting or not? So relations can also have attribute. Okay, entity can also have attribute, and those attributes can be of those many types that I had already discussed. Now students, in case of students, it can have certain attributes, and for this also it can have certain attributes. Okay, now this is the relation or relationship between two entities. You can say which type of entities are these? These are strong entities or weak entities?
So
Sir,
strong.
student is strong.
Strong.
Strong
Both
entities.
are strong.
If I am drawing a rectangle, a simple rectangle for these two entities, then these two entities will
Strong.
only have primary keys. Okay, like in case of student, you can have registration number. In case of course, you can have
Both
course
score.
course code or course ID, anything. Okay, course name, credit, इतना कुछ भी हो सकता है. Okay, so entities which are represented through rectangles are generally strong entities. And strong entitieships के बीच में जो relations हम identify करते हैं या draw करते हैं, that will be only a diamond, this type of thing. Okay, okay. Now you can ask me one question that, sir, you have just mentioned that we can have weak entity sets also, and you are not mentioning that how we can represent those weak entities. Okay. Hmm. So we can have that type of relationship also. Strong के साथ weak का relationship. Okay.
The diamond represents relationship, sir.
Yeah. Diamond represents relationship always. Okay. Now, if I am just representing this, then what does it mean? What does it mean? Can anybody tell me?
Uh,
Suppose that
The
this is
strong
this is
entity
entity
related to
one.
weak.
Okay.
strong
Let me
composite.
just complete the diagram, then I'll ask. Okay. Suppose that this is entity one, this is relationship one, and this is entity two. And entity one has attributes A1, A2, A3, and this has B1, B2, B3. Now, suppose that A2 is the primary key and here B2 is the primary key. Now, is there any mistake in this diagram?
Yes,
The
sir.
B2 should be surrogate.
B2 cannot be primary key or E2 cannot be a weak set.
B2 cannot be primary key. This is correct. So let us just, so how to represent this surrogate key?
So dot dot.
So,
That's fine. Now is it correct?
yes, sir.
So देखो एक चीज. If it is
So,
correct,
so could you explain again? So what happened just now?
in case of weak entity set, we didn't have any primary key, na? So in
Okay.
case of weak entity set, what did I explain just right now?
And we
That
have
we
to underline with dotted line.
this thing, na? But
Yeah.
here I intentionally put a continuous underline. So it was a mistake.
Okay. What about B1 and B3?
B1 and B3 can be any attribute, any normal attribute.
Okay.
Okay. For this example, And in case of E1, A1 and A3 are any non-key attributes. Okay, means they don't contribute in making the key. Okay, now that can be possible. Yeah, apart from key attribute, there can be any other attributes for an entity. Isn't it is quite normal? Okay, you see here. Here, what was the key attribute? Key attribute was the registration number, isn't it? But apart from registration number, the student can have lot many attributes. Okay, so this is quite normal. Apart from key attribute, means it is not mandatory that a strong entity set will have one and only one attribute in the form of its key. It is not mandatory. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
So now let me come to my point. Point is that is there any other mistake in this diagram? But I can certainly show you one point of confusion. Now, if a diamond is used to represent the relationship between two strong entity set, then how the relationship between one strong and one weak entity will be represented? By
Sir,
using
double diamond.
but not by using the single diamond, but using the double diamond. Yeah, correctly said. What is your name?
So Vishesh.
Okay, correctly said. Okay, this is the case. So when I will means this is for all for today's class. Actually, I have one exam. I have to go. Okay, I have to just join that duty. So for today, this is the last